Witajcie kochani w kolejnym odcinku naszego kanału YouTube Świadoma Edukacja Infinity Kids. I dzisiaj, moi drodzy, chciałbym kontynuować tą ścieżkę, którą objęliśmy z Sarą, żeby opowiadać troszeczkę o naszej metodzie, o tym, jak uczymy, żeby też odpowiadać na pytania, które być może rodzą się wśród Was, rodziców. Moim tu dzisiejszym gościem jest Annika i ten wywiad będzie w języku angielskim. Dlaczego? No to za chwileczkę się wszystkiego dowiecie. Hi Annika.
Hello.
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
I'm honored to have you in the team.
Thank you.
And as I said in the beginning, this interview is going to be in English, obviously.
Yes, unfortunately my Polish is still very bad, so I cannot have a conversation in Polish yet.
Yet, of course, and but you're learning, right?
Yes, I'm actually learning here at Infinity Adults. I'm learning Polish with one of our teachers. I've been doing it now for 2 years. I don't think my Polish is too bad, but I'm not confident yet in speaking.
But you understand a lot.
I understand a lot. So, kids, be warned. I know what you are saying in class.
Not only kids, right?
Adults as well.
Adults as well. That's something that may also answer some of the questions and some of the doubts, or let's say, or questions of the parents who very often ask, classes with native speaker, my child would not understand anything, it's complicated, oh no, they're going to cry and then don't understand, so they don't want to continue. But we always say that
we understand. We do understand them. It might not be always 100% that we understand everything that they're saying, but we can see with the body language, we get a great connection with the kids. And I promise you, mom and dad, after a month, when the kid tells you they don't understand, not always, because they do understand, and we understand them, and we're always there to support them first. So this is very important for parents to understand.
Right. Although it happens, right? Sometimes
from time to time
that there are some words that might not be clear, but that happens very rarely, and it's not an issue.
It happens from time to time, like you said, rarely, once a year, but not really, because we do fairly well. We do understand the kids fairly well at the end of the day, so that is most important for parents.
All right, so that was a little bit of introduction of something that we're going to talk about here today, but let's go back a bit, let's step back and let's talk about background and experience of yourself. How about that?
Okay.
So could you tell us, Annika, to start, where are you from, what's your background, how it is that you're here?
Okay, so I am from South Africa. Most Polish people don't understand this when I say South Africa, because they ask me where in Southern Africa. I am from RPA, Republiki Południowej Afryki, so very far from here. I studied sports science, specifically to be a PE educator, as people know it here as WF. So I did study to work with kids, specifically working with them in physical capacity and things like that. But then after a few years, I decided maybe this is not the path for me. I was still very young and stupid, clearly. Then I decided, yes, I'm going into finance, where I was an accountant for many years before I decided this is actually not what I want to do. I like working with people. I love people who like to learn, who is open to these things. So I decided I'm going back into education.
Okay, and here you are.
Here I am.
So if I may go back a bit to that experience of being a coach, being a sport teacher, right, let's say, what that experience taught you about teaching, working with young people?
So it taught me quite a lot, because coming from South Africa, we've got a huge diversity of cultures and different types of religions and things like that. So it made me more resilient, firstly, and secondly, more observant. This is something that I feel is important for teachers. They need to be a bit observant towards kids, especially body language and things like that. It also made me more aware of myself, which I didn't realize. Like, if someone actually told me, they made an observation, they're like, Annika, you've got the world's patience for kids. But you don't have that in your personal life, which is true. But as I said, I love teaching. I love people who want to learn something more. So that was something that really shows in the work that I do.
Okay, super. And then the life brought you here to Infinity. So question is, what brought you to Infinity? And of course, besides me, right? Of course, my personal charm. And what keeps you here?
So obviously, before coming to Infinity, I decided on moving to Poland. My family is originally from Poland, but this is many, many generations ago, and the Polish language has completely died. I'm the first one to come back. But yeah, so I thought I wanted to go to Europe, but I didn't want to do the conventional Europe. I wanted to do a challenge. I like challenging myself. So Poland was on the list.
Poland is a challenging country.
Yes, with language. I have to say, just with language. But for me, the culture, everything, I love it here. And that's one of the reasons why when I got the job and the opportunity with Infinity, I stayed so long as well, is because I love the culture of the Polish people. I also like the culture of our company, what we stand for, how we educate kids, adults, teenagers, all ages. And that is one of the main reasons why I've stayed here so long. Not planning on leaving anytime soon, so don't worry. But that's one of the main reasons why I stayed here, is because I enjoy the community that we have built as Infinity.
Super. About the Infinity culture, maybe next time or some other time. But yes, we stand behind a lot of values. Very important values like supporting mainly, and being, and going together with youngsters, but also with adults. Absolutely, this is what is our mission, let's say, right?
Yes.
All right, about teaching at Infinity and some, let's say, I would say contradictions. Okay, let's see what word would suit here better. I want to ask you, because besides teaching English, which is your obviously main and most important course, let's say, you also teach German. So
yes.
How is it to work with two languages? How does it influence your teaching style also?
It actually has a huge influence on my teaching style. With German, you will pick up, I'm very strict, extremely strict with it. Yeah. There is, unfortunately, no other way than the German way when teaching German. Though I tried to make it fun and lighthearted, of course. German grammar and the way of speaking is very strict. So I teach a way different when it comes to German. And I also prefer to speak to people, unfortunately, because my Polish isn't good enough. I need to teach people who has a basic English base, because I'm German English, not German Polish. So it does have an influence on the way I teach. When it comes to English, completely different aspect. I come from a native background. I've had English since it was my first language, so since I can remember. The way I teach it is the way we were taught at school, with using 100% English, getting kids integrated into the language, not just when it comes to bookwork. But I use English, I teach them phrases, I teach them not just phrases and words, I teach them the English culture.
Sure, and I think this is the advantage of having classes with native speaker, that it's not kind of a book or standard, let's say, teaching, but it is life.
Yes, life influences us completely.
Life influences.
And that's something that people don't realize. I know it's scary to have a native speaker. Like, I understand that feeling. When I had my first Polish class, I was like, oh, this is completely Polish. I don't know what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, it's actually the best thing you can do to yourself, to your child, to your teenager, is to immerse yourself in the culture and the way of the language.
Absolutely that. All right, so that was one contradiction, let's say.
Two different ways.
Two different ways, but also what my experience says and what's happening here. You teach from very early age, like kids 3 years old, to adults. Right. So it is also a different type of method, and it depends on who you teach, right?
Exactly, definitely. With kids, completely different style than I will have with adults, especially the little kids. My classes are extremely fun. My core value that I also like to remind other people about when I teach little kids is, if you were a little kid, would you have fun in class? So not only do we do book work, so parents can actually follow and practice with the kids, but it's more how can the kids use it already with things that they already know. So dancing, singing, moving around, getting them up and going. So that's why for me, believe it or not, my fun age to teach is 3-year-olds, because I get to have fun with them. But then when it gets older, your teaching changes a bit. So for example, 7-year-olds and 9-year-olds, 2 years apart, but two completely different teaching styles. 7-year-olds still want to be little kids. They are still little kids at heart. So you still have that influence from the little kids in there, but we're starting to prepare them for the big classes. When we get to a grade, or as you would say, class 3, this is where they become older, into their teen phases.
Not childish, right?
Yeah, they're becoming. They know better than you. You can't teach them.
They're so cool. They're so cool. Cool for school, as we say.
It's way too cool for school. And that's where teaching style changes again.
Of course.
Because now we are putting the language in their hands. Now they are actually using it in a way that we would use it in our everyday life. So everything has a point. Teenagers, not my forte. I'm not very good with them, but with teenagers, the few that I have, it's very much how we can prepare them for not just exams, but outside life. Because when they're adults in university and stuff, they're going to meet people from all over the world. How are they going to be able to communicate with them if they can't use English? And unfortunately, English is now the universal language that everyone uses. So there it's very much getting their interests and preparing them for
and also
life.
Make them responsible for their learning, right?
Exactly. You put it in their hands. If they don't want to learn this, you can't force them. But if they have that passion inside them that they want to learn this, you will see immaculate results with that. And then, as you said, I also teach adults. Adults is completely different.
It's coming back to be children.
Yes, in a way, yes. You need to make it fun, because let's be honest, we work from 9 to 5 every day. Work is boring. You have family responsibilities, work responsibilities. This is a place where you're learning a language, but also relaxing at the same time and having fun while doing that. So we have game nights and things like that to get adults involved and have fun and use English like we would in our everyday life, not just in work.
Well, that's not a surprise, but I think for all ages, what is common that the best way to learn foreign language is to have fun.
Yes, yes, because I can vouch for that. Because if I have Polish class, if the subject is not fun, for example, numbers and dates at the moment, I hate it because it's not fun for me. But all the other subjects that I've done, they were fun. So I'm learning that faster than the most important things.
But that's the part of the teacher's work, right? To make even hard things fun.
Exactly. That's why, like, adults, they know me by now. They know I will go, listen, I don't care about your grammar when you're an adult. For me, my goal is communication. How to implement what you know in your everyday life. So for me, I make grammar a fun experience. We make it games. You get points, all of these types of things. Having them interact in a different way than they normally would just on pen and paper.
So if you don't mind, I'll link it to what we've talked with Sarah here. Sometimes we had this question from the parents, why don't you teach grammar, or you don't teach grammar, or even they say that it is no, this style of teaching is not really helping them with school and everything. And then our response is, because we're not doing that. We want to teach communication.
Exactly. That's what a language school is for. We're not tutors. Tutors are people who specifically work on the work that you've done at school. We're not tutors, we're language educators. Our goal is to get you speaking at the end of the day. So yes, our main focus is not always grammar, it's more on communication.
And obviously, learning language with a native speaker can be different. I mean, not want to say that natives do not know grammar. Right?
I have to say, a lot of the grammar that most Polish people know is excellent.
Right.
I'm not going to teach you anything. I can show you shortcuts on how to do things, and I can explain the why we do things that way. But I'm not going to teach you grammar.
Yeah.
That is not what a native does.
And it's not useful at all. I mean, to learn, past perfect, it goes like this, present perfect, it goes like this. Why do we use it, and when do we use it, and what's the reason you use it, right? That's
what you get from natives, is the why. Because most of the time, kids ask, oh, but why do we need to do this? We can explain to them why we need it for this.
In such situation, use that phrase. In such situation, use that phrase. It's not important. It's present perfect, past simple, whatever.
We don't care if you know these terms. We want you to implement it into everyday life. That is the most important.
All right, let's go back to the question. What do you find rewarding about teaching very young children?
The moment when the language clicks. Now, this sounds weird. This is a phrase in English as well, when it clicks, meaning when they understand the language for the first time. You have a light bulb moment where they go,
that wow.
Yes,
yeah.
They're like, oh, I just spoke to teacher for such a long time without having to struggle and think about it. That is something I think most teachers will agree with. That is the nicest feeling when you get that child to the point where they go, I understand this. I know why I'm doing this.
Right. It is really rewarding. I can remember that spark in eyes, right?
That little glint they get.
All right. What about teenagers? Because you said that this is not really the group that you prefer teaching, which I also know. But what is the most challenging thing here?
So for me personally, the most challenging thing with teenagers is finding common ground. For me, that's very challenging. Also, it's because they've got a different culture. So it makes it a bit harder for me to get to that point. Because I come from, like I said, South Africa. Our teenage culture compared to Polish teenage culture is two completely different worlds. So for me, if I can't find any form of common ground, I struggle to connect. And for me, it's important for a teacher to be able to connect to the students.
Of course.
I'm able to teach all the materials. That's not an issue. I just need connection. I need that connection as a foreigner and as a native speaker. Connection makes it so much easier to teach people and to help them, because without that, I'm not going to be able to assist you the way you need me to assist you.
Okay. You mentioned a bit about that teaching adults, but if you can maybe find or tell us what is unique about teaching adults compared to teaching kids?
Oh, that's a very nice question. So for me, it's having more of a everyday conversation. Kids are very in their imagination, in their own little worlds and things like that, where with adults, it's everyday things. Things that we do as a community, as a family, things like that. And also, they've already gone through school. They know their English from classes. Even if they didn't have English, they have an idea of the language. And for adults, it's easier to understand why we are doing things we do at the end of the day. And they're willing. They want to learn the language. They're not being forced to learn the language.
Like sometimes kids, right? Forced by parents.
Exactly. So when you get adults in front of you, you see they want to learn. They want to do their best. And they also want that reward where the teacher goes, oh, brilliant. It's still the same effect that the kids have, but it's a bit different. Sometimes I do prefer teaching adults. It comes from time to time, especially, like I said, if the group clicks, if everything works. Perfect, but there will be challenges, obviously, with all groups, all ages. You just need to be adaptable.
But I think it's also a nice filter, right? Because if you're all the time with kids, teaching kids, sometimes you get overwhelmed with that, right? There's too much kids, right? So, so then you have adults, and it filters a bit of your emotions and also the way we teach, and it's differently, right?
Exactly. I'll be honest, my experience, my first full year working here, I had predominantly kids. I think I had like 2 or 3 groups of adults. The adults saved me at the end of the day because having kids, it's high emotions consistently, and adults just give you that moment.
Energy and tense also, right?
Yes, because you're like, oh, am I doing this right? Are the kids happy? Are they learning something? And when you get to the adults, you get a nice sigh of relief. Okay, I can breathe now and move on with the day. Having a balance between the two is very important. For me. I know some teachers prefer just to teach kids, just to teach adults or teens or any specific age. For me, I like diversity, so it gives me that moment to breathe.
Right. I want to address or come back a bit to the thing we said in a joke here, that adults are not forced to teach, to learn, and then kids very often are forced by parents to teach. So my observation says that sometimes kids are forced or have to be forced by parents to go to the class. But while they are in the class, it's so much fun that they forget about, all the struggle before. Exactly.
That was one of my personal struggles in the beginning, is when I realized kids were being forced to be here and they didn't want to be there. It's getting that connection with the kid, getting them to have fun, getting them to participate. It does take a while. One of the kids I remember used to kick and scream outside the class, refusing to go in. And now he's the first kid in my class. Can't wait for us to start and play games and do fun things.
And that story you told us a few days ago, that there was a kid, we don't want to mention the name, who was crying here all the time. And now when you see him on the street, he's asking when the English starts.
Exactly. He can't wait for English class to start now. And I'm like, yeah, just hang on. Class is about to start. Don't worry.
All right. Okay, let's change the topic a bit. I just want to go back to mention here that I'm a bit, let's say, proud of what we're doing here, because our school, and I not want to say that we are unique, but I think that there are a lot of schools who do not really do that, that we have different teams here. Of course, administration team, of course, me as CEO, but we also, from, I don't know, it's been 2 years or something, we built also a methodologist team.
Yes.
This is the few senior teachers who really work on methodology here, who are involved in supporting other teachers. And Annika is the base, let's say, of that team. Could you please explain what is the role you're involved day to day?
So day to day, as you explained, I support teachers. I'm there to help them if they have issues. It might be discipline. It might be something with the way we teach kids. It might be they have issues with adults as well. I'm there to give them support as well as help solve problems. I also prepare most of the materials for teachers, getting everything ready for them when the school starts. If there is things they've forgotten or just need refresher on, I'm there to help. And I'm also, I want to say, the liaison between the office and the teacher if there are any problems. We are there to make that easier for the office as well as the teacher to resolve these issues, because we are teachers ourselves. So it's easier for us to understand the situation that they're in and solve it.
Sure. My understanding of building the team, or what is the reason behind that, is that the teacher is not alone.
Yes, exactly.
When they start working here, and I believe in many schools it's like that. I started as like that. I was given a class and just go and teach. And whoa, that was a huge problem. Okay, I'm good in teaching, and maybe I'm not proud here, and I'm proud too much of that, but I am. But I see that many young teachers, when they come, not experienced, if they will be thrown into situation that happens in the class, that might be a problem. So here my question is, how what do you do? What do we have to pay attention to when we introduce the new teachers?
So one of the few things that we do is we do an introductory course with them. So for 2 days we teach them about all our methods and things like that. We cover things that can happen in class, talk from our own experience. This is usually an open floor discussion. We don't like closing everything. We want teachers to participate in everything like that. So we kind of make them aware of things that will happen. If a teacher joins us in the middle of the year, I take quite hands-on with them. They will shadow me in classes. Get to experience how my kids react to certain things, which has a hugely positive effect, especially for younger teachers, because they're nervous when they walk into the classroom. This way, it takes that nerves away because they're getting used to being around kids, working with kids. Same with adults or teenagers. We make sure we give them adequate support for these situations. And like I said, we give them lesson plans and things like that. So a guideline of how to teach kids as much as possible throughout the year. We also follow up to check that they're okay and there's no issues or anything like that.
Right. So this is why we build a team also, that the teacher, that we are not the school that is catching everyone to come here and teach, but we are sure here that everyone is on the same page, right?
Exactly.
Everyone does the same thing. And it's not like if we have a situation that one teacher leaves, then the other jumps in. It's someone completely from out of the space, let's say. Right?
Yeah, everything is the same. But it was very important what you just said. We want everyone on the same level. When I joined, unfortunately, there wasn't this program. I was also shown the books and things like that, but I didn't have that support as a new teacher joining. And this was one of the most important things. Every time a new teacher joins, I ask myself the question, what would I have wanted when I started? And that's how I try to implement it when we are training teachers and supporting them. What are the things that they need?
Yeah, and here I don't want to excuse myself, but explain a bit. When you joined, it was a moment of pandemia and different things, and COVID and
COVID
and changes and everything. So it was crazy time.
I still remember starting online and then the next day you calling me, Annika, were you not at school?
It's not online. Yeah, exactly. There was so much of mistakes and changes and everything. Crazy time. Crazy.
Very crazy time.
So Annika, we mentioned here with Sarah in that channel, YouTube channel, different methods that we use in Mała Lingua Teen Space. And my question is, what do you find the most effective method? Which one is, I don't want to say best or worst, but because this is not what we want to do here, but most effective, what would you say?
So the first thing that pops into my mind is I'm thinking about yesterday. I was teaching one of my kindergarten groups yesterday, and I had a new teacher who is shadowing me, observing how I teach and interact with kids. And after class, she came and told me, she's like, Annika, they interacted with the puppets. So, as everyone knows, we use puppets in our classes, especially with the little kids. This is one of our key points where we differ from other schools. And these puppets actually do have a huge effect on little kids. For example, they might not want to speak to me, but they'll speak to the puppet. I use the puppet Lucky, who is the family pet, but Lucky refuses to speak to me. He does not speak to me whatsoever.
Right.
But he communicates with the kids. So we were revising colors and things like that, and he asked the kids what's their favorite colors, and everyone said, my favorite color is this. Yet again, full sentences also. And they actually were so interested because they couldn't wait to ask Lucky what is his favorite color. But he couldn't make up his mind. He kept changing his answer to every person. So they think he likes the rainbow colors. So
okay.
all of the colors. So perfect. But it's a great element that we have for kids to actually start learning the language. They might not want to speak to me directly because they're intimidated, they feel uncomfortable, I'm a new person. But with the puppets, they actually open up. They actually do care. She found it very interesting that the kids want to hug the puppets after they've worked with them. And this is something, it has emotions in it, it teaches them the language, it teaches them interaction. So this is a key element that I think that we use, which is very important, is the puppets.
Right, and I would say it's unique.
Very
Although
unique.
it doesn't mean that none of the schools or none of the teachers use that puppet, whatever puppet they have, because I know that some of them use, but Blaubers, it's only us.
Yes, it's a family, and that's the key thing. We use family members, and it's easier for kids to connect to that.
Of course. All right, well, next question is going to be maybe a bit private, let's say, or delicate, but let's see how far you can go with that. I just want to ask you about the most challenging moment you faced here as a teacher.
Oh. So, one of the things that I will mention is I worked at a school. I hated it. I hated every second of it. I cried a lot.
Not mentioning which one.
No, definitely not. But it was a challenge in the way it wasn't the kids. It was a lot because it was every single day. And as a foreigner in this country, I didn't feel welcome there. Unfortunately, this does happen from time to time, but I always remember throughout this situation, something I was taught as a kid. My mom was like, once you've committed, see it out till the end. And
you did.
I did. I spent a whole year there. I did complain a lot, but I stayed there every single day. I finished, I did my work, and I did my best work. I didn't lower the standards because of the situation, but I continued working. And my dad actually told me, if you can get past this, you can get past anything as a teacher. And I still follow that saying to this day.
Right. Remember the time? I remember the time, and I really appreciate you doing that and being with them. And what I want to mention here a bit, we have different native speakers here at school, and I hear really sometimes, from time to time, that they experience a bit of the racism, let's say, or I don't know, I don't want to call those names here too much, but shame on you guys. This is what I want to say. Sorry, right? I'm sorry to say. I know it's tough. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but really things I hear, they're not good. So I hope one day those elements will be out. Let's say this, because mostly it's okay. Everyone appreciates, everyone is smiling, and everyone is welcoming. But it happens from time to time, and I don't know why. I don't understand it. And really, I don't want to go into politics. But guys, come on.
It's very rarely that it's kids. Kids are very open, and it makes me realize again how fortunate they are that they haven't been exposed to these types of things. And they're innocent. Unfortunately, sometimes they say things, but
Adults
it's influence. Influence. But we're used to, I don't want to say we're used to it, we know how to handle these situations.
Of course. Okay, let's go to the other side. Let's go and let's look at the other hand. The moment of joy, the success.
So, I'm going to speak about your son, Andre. He is one of my students. I've had him now for 3 years. And he's been fighting me since day one. He doesn't want to be with me in class. But for me, one of the nicest things ever was he came to me in class and said, he actually likes me as a teacher and he doesn't want a different teacher. I listen to him and I'm willing to work with him. And at that moment, I kind of wanted to cry, but I was like, no, Annika, don't cry in front of him. This is not a moment of weakness. This is a moment of joy. Right. And for me, that was a very nice moment. There are kids who struggle. There are kids who feel like the people don't understand them. And this is where we as teachers come in. We are there to make this a safe environment. We're there to make them feel welcome at the end of the day. And for me, that is one of my main things. Even though we have our teaching methods and things like that, I want kids from all ages to feel safe in my class, to come and talk to me about anything. Trust me, parents, you don't want to know what I hear from kids. They come and tell me everything.
Of course they do.
At the end of the day, they feel safe. If they didn't feel safe, they wouldn't do that. And that is very, very important for me, is kids to feel safe, to feel welcome, and to have the opportunity to try in my class.
No, unfortunately or fortunately, or I don't know what I have to say, but there are kids like some we know that really struggle to. They have to be forced, basically, to do the work, and at the end of the day, they really enjoy it. But what I want to mention here, what I'm let me say what I'm proud of, and when I look at and I see the moment of success and the joy for me when I'm here sitting in my office or walking down the hallway, corridor, whatever.
Corridor both ways.
I say hallway because I'm American more than corridor. But then I see you or other teachers, other natives, walking down with in this alley here with the individual student who used to be, for example, a group student, and talking in English, just on regular things. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, I've got two that are the same age. They're class 8 this year, but they're adult C1 this year with me. So they can already go, I told the parents, they can go write Matura this year. They are ready for it.
So now, time for German.
Yes.
Time for German. All right. How do you feel you've grown as a teacher and as a methodologist here?
I actually have grown a lot. In the beginning, I was very reserved and very set in my ways. When we mentioned we do training, one of the training is working with the puppets and things like that. For example, I'm going to be honest, most teachers in the beginning, they're very uncomfortable with it. I was super uncomfortable with it. I didn't like this idea whatsoever. At one stage I thought, why did I do this to myself? But I got so comfortable now that a puppet is an extension of me as a teacher. I have to say my openness to learn new things and new methods as well has opened up substantially. I learn something new every year. That's why when I hear teachers tell me, oh, they know everything, I go,
Right.
yeah, okay. My grandma, she was a class 2 teacher her whole entire life. And she told me, you never stop learning as a teacher. It's a constant learning base. So that was definitely one of the things I've learned is how to implement things with kids and work with them on different levels.
All right. If we try to give an advice to someone who is nervous about learning a language, what would you say?
Oh, try. That is the most important, is to say at the end of the day, I tried and failed rather than never trying it at all. Because at the end of the day, you never know. You might actually be very good at this. That's why we have the system. We give adults or students the first lesson to try, to see if this suits them. If it doesn't, we can always try a different teacher. It might be because the style of the teacher doesn't suit them personally, but usually it's quite open and we all use the same style. So it's easy to move from one teacher to another teacher with us, but trying is the most important.
So a bit forcing yourself.
Yes, but it's not in an ugly way. It's more like attempting it for the first time, opening yourself up to this new situation, this new idea of doing something.
The best excuse I've always hear, and I do it myself also, I have no time. I have no time.
Yeah,
and then,
same here.
and then I remember someone responded to that. Everyone has the same time.
Oh, I need to remember that next time I speak to my Polish teacher so that she doesn't tell me, hey, Annika, I also teach full time.
Yeah. All right. So finally, what do you enjoy being a part of that community here?
Well, it's, as a native English speaker coming from a different country, we leave our families and everything behind. So our community, teachers, office, everyone here, we become a family for the people who don't have family here. And this is something that I have valued since day one. I never felt like an outsider here. The office always had my back. People were supporting me, helping me, getting my MPK card and everything like that, getting my first apartment, signing contracts, all of these things. I have always had help. I've never been left alone. And this is something that I value in this school more than anything else, is the fact that people are supported. Not just students, not just parents, not just the office, but the teachers as well. They're not, as we would say, hung out to dry on their own and hope they survive before the storm comes, but literally actually caring and trying their best. And you can see that with when the teachers work with the students, they actually do use that in their classes as well.
Sure we are. Thank you, Annika. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for sharing your perspective. And I believe it's going to be enriching to everyone. And
hopefully next time I'll try a bit more Polish.
hopefully next time more Polish. And of course we want to invite everyone to join the classes with Annika. But if not with Annika, the Annika is there. She influences everyone. So she is behind the scene all the time. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for having me here.
A wy, kochani, łapki w górę, lubimy nasz kanał, oczywiście jak najwięcej, zapraszamy serdecznie i do następnego razu. See you, bye.
See you.